Got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go yak out of line. I'ma call the whole team.
Hey, what's up guys? Team Hard Life Capt.Eric here. Well, I've got a customer in-house and he's asking some very good questions of knowledge on the braid and stuff like that, because as everybody notices now that we're going straight braid to our leader. Now, there's been very seldom times that the water clarity is so clear that fish will be skittish. Normally, if the water clarity isn't so clear to where you can see all the way to the bottom, the fish are hitting on everything. But on the rare occasion, it is. It'll be super clear. I mean, I've seen the ripples on the sand at the very bottom of, say, Bob Hall Pier. Now, you'll see the schools of drum and red come through and swim through your baits and just not even take a bait. Like everything, their personal favorites, live shrimp, live mullet, pin perch, piggy perch, menhaden. I mean, we've put it all out there and they just look at it like nothing. They'll do it 2 or 3 times and then finally the 4th time or 5th time, they'll come through and something will strike and then boom, 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 they'll annihilate everything in their area. I personally think it's because one of the fish gets ticked off that, you know, they get touched by one of the baits or something like that. But we're not down there and not, you know, we'll look away for a second when that hit actually happens. So he goes, well, what's another alternative that can kind of increase your chances? Because a lot of times too, yes, fish will actually see the line and stuff like that. And I've seen it where I had braid straight to my 3-way leader and everybody else that had mono to their 3-way leader was getting hit but me. And I was like, all right, well, let's test this theory. So I tied to my braid, put like 5 to 10 foot of mono, and I went straight to my leader. Cast it out, and then I started hooking up. I was like, okay, so they are seeing my braid. They're not hitting my leader because of it. So he goes, well, if I have the loop end on my braid, how can I attach mono and then detach it without keeping it there? Because obviously, you know, having that much mono on your tip of your rod for just dinking out a bait is not really good, because it's going through your guides really hard, because that's the most pressure. So how do I get it on and get it off really quick? I said, well, here's what I normally do. And then I was like, you know what, that is a good video to share with everybody else. So let me see, let me tie it up a little closer so you can see. But I'm going to create a loop on the end of my leader right here, and let me make sure. See, I've got all of it is already beat up line, so I want to make sure to get to a spot where it's not beat up, so you can see the whole process of this and why I'm doing it. Tie a little knot here. And that way you don't have to sit there and do a hollow core splice or anything like that. And okay, good. So I've got my mono, I've got a loop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a worm knot. And a worm knot is simple. You stick your tag in through your loop right here, and with your finger you're going to point in the direction you want to go. So once I've got it in, I'm going to go around the main line 13 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. On the 13th time, you see where my finger's pointed in? I'm going to go the opposite direction through that loop, just like that, and I'm going to pull my finger out. And now I'm going to wet all this line so I can cinch down the mono. And since the line is very dirty, I'm sorry, I'm not going to spit on it like I normally do all the brand new lines. So I'm going to bring it in, I'm going to cinch it down, and there's a knot in the braid, so I need to get that over it first, or it's going to pile up on it as it's trying to do already. And that's why it's called a worm knot, because it looks like a little larva. Now, cutting it off and burning and doing all the other things that I normally do, there you'll get that set up. Now at the end of the day, when you're done fishing, how do you get it off without damaging your braid? Because you still want to use that braid for your next fishing trip. I told him that's easy. I normally get a pair of dikes, and here's the part you have to pay attention to. There's very good dikes out there, and they would cut right through the braid. So you want to get a cheap pair that won't cut through your braid, and all you do is right excuse me, my allergies are kicking my butt, but you go right where the mono is, and then you squeeze, and you'll hear it kind of cut through. Once it does, you can remove your knot without damaging your braid. So, and basically you just pull this apart. And I should have cut it a little further back this way, but I didn't. It's all right, but you'll get it. And there you go. Look, the braid wasn't damaged at all, because like I said, it's a cheap pair of dikes. So now I can continue using my loop end to tie onto my next fishing trip, leader, or whatever I'm doing. But that's a good way to attach mono for a quick fix and then get it back off without messing up your braid. Like I said, use a cheap pair of dikes to be able to do it. If you do it with the knife, be extremely careful, because you can cut your braid on there and stuff like that. I've done it before, but it's not really the technique I want to teach you, because I mean, sometimes we all got a heavy hand and we'll go right through it, and then we're like, dang it. So, all right, guys, that was a quick little, I don't know if it'd be a storytelling Wednesday or Thursday, kind of deal, but just figured it was a good idea for some knowledge.